what went wrong.
Okay, emergency practice
Yes.
before day 2 for
Yes,
Team Korea's
exactly.
revenge.
So let's see what they can
Okay.
bring today. So yeah,
Oh.
the first map is going to be the fantastic glass labyrinth, as we were just saying. So same map as yesterday, 4 stars. You can run with pilot cookie and cookie molds. So yeah, there is no special strategy on this map. You just need to collect all those rainbow bear jellies. The difficulty is that the rainbow bear jellies are moving, and you even have moving platforms, which are really difficult to get right.
Yeah, the spinning rainbow.
Yes,
that's also
exactly.
random. And we actually had a player bumping into one of them yesterday after the second jump. So
Yes.
let's see if anyone actually bumps in.
Right, and so both teams decided who were going to be the first player. For Indonesia, we are going to have Gojek Vanes starting. So sending their very strong player first, and then Shio is going to be Gojek opponent. Interesting.
Yeah, so we were talking about this before the broadcast. Do you send the one with more confidence, the better player on the map for the first, or the second? Because second is totally random. It's going to be by drawn by the Korean commentators. So you really have to think about who's going first and second.
Yeah. So maybe you might be like, okay, let's have just one player focus on the glass labyrinth and have like the very skilled player play the random map in set 2, and we can bring him again in set 3 if necessary. But I guess Indonesian went with Gojek for set number 1. Very interesting. Shio for Korea is going to be a great opponent as well. And
we'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
Settings for both looks about the same.
Yes,
left
it is
and right.
Exactly the same, actually. Yeah, they have both exactly the same strategy. I think some of the players actually rewatched the stream from yesterday, and maybe they picked up on some clues and some strategies from the other teams. So I think we might have a lot of same strategies today.
Yeah, they certainly should, as I think we are getting ready to jump into our very first match of the regional match, day number 2. It's Gojek versus Shio, Team Korea versus Team Indonesia.
And let's see if Shio is going to bring a first set to Team Korea, or if Gojek is going to do it for Indonesia.
And we'll see this map 6 times at least. We will always be starting on it.
Yeah, so at the beginning, actually, you don't even need to touch your screen, because with Pilot Cookie skill, you collect everything, and here you don't even need to jump neither.
Yeah, you just get the fuel automatically.
Yes.
So we actually just start right here at 17 seconds.
Indeed.
Pretty easy to begin with.
Yeah, so far so good for both players, nothing too special.
Yep.
Doing
slide.
Yes, okay, so both players are warming up nicely now, and then when you have Pilot Cookie's skill activation, he actually goes way faster, as you can see, and it's very easy to miss those bear jellies when the skill is activating. And here, this is a part that's random, and everything is alright for Gojek. Oh no, he actually missed one!
That's a big miss! It was after all these... Oh, that's a little unfortunate, Gojek.
Yes, that's the first Rainbow Bear missed by Gojek, but actually the Rainbow Bear points increases when you go to the next stage, so missing a Rainbow Bear at the beginning might not be so crucial.
So this was the map where Gojek couldn't come back from falling back yesterday. Let's see if he can recover and have a win against Shio.
Okay, so Gojek still going strong right now, with Shio also playing perfectly so far.
Okay, here comes the moving.
Yes, so here comes the moving platforms. Will both players manage to get it right? It looks like both players are doing it greatly so far, and here with the plane, can they get all the
Gojek missed one more!
Or two!
A second one! A little too fast.
Oh yeah, Gojek actually missing 2 Rainbow Bears here, while Shio is still playing perfectly, so Shio is getting a lead here.
Now a pretty noticeable lead by Shio on the bottom. But he also needs to keep up the race, not miss any of those big jellies.
Yes, but again, like, you can completely recover from it at the end of the map. So Gojek needs to stay in the game, stay focused, and keep on playing.
When we get into Cookie Mouse, that's the real time We have a lot more points from the rainbows.
Yes, the part with cookie molds is also really difficult because the fox from the cookie molds can dashes, and so it's really difficult to get all the rainbow bear jelly when the fox dashes, and I think we might see a strong difference at that point.
Catching all those different jellies at the end is going to be the tougher.
Okay, this part is already very difficult, and you see Shio missing on some bear jellies here, missed 2, and Gojek also missed a few.
Yeah, I think Gojek missed 2 in total also. So I think that part was about even. And Shio just got a little bit further.
Yes, but
one more jelly in.
Yes. And now, wow, Shio has actually quite some lead right now, 3 million or something. And Shio missing a rainbow bear. As you can see here, missing a rainbow bear, it costs way more.
By the way, Cookie Mao, so cute.
Oh yes, very, very cute.
Very cute.
And here you must use the dash. Wow, both players are missing quite a lot of rainbow bears here, actually.
Yeah, because of the dash, those parts are actually really hard. Oh.
And here, you must not hit that red button, otherwise the bear jellies are going to disappear. Both players not hitting the red button. Okay, both players are doing really nicely so far.
Yeah, got it. It was really hard to go through those tiny holes. And flying back in.
But Gojek is not really far away actually, so he might be able to come back at the end.
One more miss.
One more miss. Another miss. 3 miss. Oh, that's unfortunate for Gojek right here.
Yeah, we're talking late game, so the points, we can tell the difference now. About 7 million was what I counted.
Yeah, but the last skill activation actually grants a lot of points, so don't give up until then.
And Shio did make a mistake of bumping into one at the late game yesterday, before the game finished.
So this part is random as well, so you need to get your jump just right. It's also easy to make a mistake.
Double. Gets harder later
Nicely
on.
done by both players, and both players are going to get the last skill activation. And here they must get all the... Oh, Gojek missed a lot of rainbow bear jelly at the very end. And here the final jump. And it's a win from Shio, and Korea gets the first set.
First win for Team Korea, up by, I believe, about 11 million points.
Yes, I believe Gojek jumped one time too much at the end, missing on a lot of rainbow bear jellies at the very, very end.
It's close. After the randomness, you gain that last speed from the skill activation.
Yes, and so we've got a nice score here from Shio at 1,073,000,000. Very strong.
Yes, this could be the tiebreak point later on, so let's make sure to write these down.
Shio actually got very close from his personal best here. Since his personal best was 1,074,000,000.
Oh,
he actually
really?
got to 73 here. So yeah, now we are going to have set number 2, and set number 2 is going to be picked by the...
Not by us.
Not by us,
the
by
Korean
them.
commentators.
Yes, by the Korean commentators.
I was trying it, but we don't have the boss, we don't have the magic power.
Unfortunately, I feel like I should be picking, you know?
Maybe next tournament.
Maybe next tournament.
We should get at least one chance.
Yeah, I know, right? So it's going to be completely random.
Right there.
Yeah, they are right here.
So except for the labyrinth, we will have 10 maps. We do have 10 maps available in the box right now, and whom is going to draw one? What's it gonna be? I would like to see Yeti or Fashion Week, but
yeah, maybe a map from the final would be fun.
And the map is. Oh, is it Canyon? Yeah, it's Canyon.
It's the zip lines.
Oh man, it is.
They actually get the
wasn't Canyon the favorite map of Gojek?
I
think so.
Maybe.
I think that's what
it might be. But you know what? Gojek cannot play this one. It's actually you who is going to play it.
Yeah, you cannot play double. You have to be...
Exactly. You have to change now.
You have to change for the second set.
Yeah.
And the third set, you can come back.
Yes, and so actually you mentioned that his favorite map for the semi-final was not this one, so I'm really curious to see how he's going to do here.
Zipline.
Wow.
We've seen it a little bit, yes. I think only once. Twice?
Yeah, maybe once or twice. I'm not so sure.
Maybe twice, yes. because all the semifinals were 2-0s, I believe.
Okay.
We didn't get to see too many, but that's the map draw, and
Yeah.
we'll see what happens here.
So 4-star difficulties. Again, you play with Dr. Bones as the first cookie, Baguette as the relay, and the pet is actually a revival pet. So yesterday, if you might remember, there is a strategy on this map where you can jump down a hole with Baguette cookie to get the revival timing just right. But it's difficult to make at the perfection because you often end up missing some rainbow bear jellies when you try to do so. So let's try to see if both players try to go with that strategy or if they just go with something different.
Yeah, this is one of the harder ones, the zipline plus the flying rainbows.
Yes.
Flying rainbow jellies are tough to get, and you also get the extra jump from the green boots.
Indeed, yeah. It's going to be difficult. Zip lines, as you remember from yesterday, some of them are very, very short, so you must jump really, really fast.
Haha, both with a loss from yesterday, but you lost to the champion, so you shouldn't be feeling too bad. But Gonu losing the oxygen, that was a big first match of yesterday, number 1.
Gonu smiling here, I think he's nervous. I think that's like a nervous smile, you know?
Yeah, but Gonu, his teammate got a win, so it's less pressure. A lot more pressure for you right now. If he loses, the team's not dropping out, but you only get 3 chances and you drop 1.
That's true. Indonesia will really want to get this win right now. And let's have a look at the setup.
Okay, Dr. Bones.
I think, it looks like both players have the same Magic Candy blessing for Dr. Bones. So that's nice. And
basic jellies. And what about Baguette?
Baguette, can we see Baguette? Oh, they both have bear jellies as well. So yeah. Same setup for both players.
Yeah, nothing different between the two, so same setup. But in game, we might see some different strategy, and it's zipline, and it's very tough to grab everything.
Zipline time, let's go!
Well, we have you and Gonu facing off. Set number 2, Korea. Team Korea is leading. Can Team Indonesia catch up and lead us to an ace match? Let's go in. The map is Canyon.
Let's start. Let's go. Good luck to both teams.
You on top, Gonu on the bottom screen. We start with Dr. Bones.
Yeah.
Max.
I don't know if you know, but actually the cookie that Dr. Bones has to revive changes with every skill activation. So first is Gingerbread, then you got Zombie and stuff like that. So it's actually changing.
Yeah, I find it funny when the muscle cookie comes in, and then he doesn't really need anything else. So,
and you can see here that
you missed one.
You missed one. Okay. You is actually
second one.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So you is actually playing without the skin here, but I think that's just personal preferences because you can actually put the skin effect even if you're not playing with the skin.
So that's early game, so it might not matter as much when we get into later, because you can certainly miss so much more. Now, usually, it's hard to miss this million perfect.
Right, at that level, but you know, maybe if you're nervous, you might make a mistake, but okay. Both playing, so jumping early here to collect the rainbow bears perfectly.
Yeah, the first zip line to dodge.
Yeah, here you
casually, easy.
Yeah, but you still must jump nicely to avoid these obstacles here. Okay, yeah, both players doing alright so far, but as you mentioned, you did actually miss some rainbow bear, and so Team Gonu is in the lead right now.
And just 2, and that's enough to catch. There's a muscle.
And can you see also, like, if you have the skin in the game, you can see that Muscle Cookie here is revived with the skin. Pretty cute.
Yeah, good catch there.
Broccoli muscle. Alright,
into the zip line.
This is when the serious stuff is really starting.
You zip line in, slide.
Nicely done by both players. Wow, that was such a difficult part, but both players managed to go through that very well.
And caught most of what we just had.
And here, Team Gonu actually missing on the rainbow bear, and both players missing on those 2 rainbow bears at the end here.
Yeah, so both players, it's really hard to grab all of them. So I think they just went with what's possible.
And now
80, 100, you're back alive. get back here. That's a million added.
Yeah, and this part is super difficult. You need to get the timing right to miss as little jellies as possible. And I think that you is actually catching back a little bit. The score difference was more than 1 million, and now it's actually under the million.
Okay, drop down. Double jump and immediately drop down. You need to slide so quickly.
Oh, nice control by Kim Gonu on this part.
No big misses from you either.
No, that was really nice because it's definitely not easy. And now you're going to have the last skill activation for Dr. Bones before the revival.
Do you really need to AED a zombie quickly?
I guess you do.
Got me wondering for a second, but we continue with the race.
Maybe you get an extra revival then.
Oh, that he gets 4 now?
Oh, you missing on the rainbow bear here at the bottom of the screen.
It's really hard to jump down and
Kim Gonu is going really strong right now.
Okay, jump down, slide. No misses this time from either player. Good catch up. It's about 2 million difference in points I see.
It's definitely not over there. Oh! Good thing the skill activation was here.
I feel like it's usually harder to grab the bottom ones because once you drop, you just fall down. There's nothing else guarding you.
Indeed, yes.
So
and the last jump. Okay, right. You don't need to do it with this.
Pass, axe, pass, pass. Oh, Gonu actually a little faster.
Yes,
as you can tell.
He might get an extra 10,000 points because of it.
Oh no, he couldn't get it. I don't think he got it, an extra one. But if he got a little faster, I think it could have been possible. Another miss from you.
Yes, I saw that.
Now this is the hard part. Go up,
here,
down.
Up, down, up, down. And
immediate
here.
down.
Nice timing, nice timing.
And ooh, well done.
Okay, that's when. Oh, they got the timing just right. They didn't miss on any rainbow bear. Nicely done by both players. That's not easy to pull off.
Oh, cheap. Oh, exactly at the same time.
Oh, and I think that's about it. I don't think there is any way for you to come back from this unless Kim Gonu makes a mistake.
Unless Gonu misses everything. I don't think he's going to.
The final jump. Oh, there is a revival. Sorry, I forgot about the revival. It's not over until it's over.
Yep, from the monitor pet. And slides back in.
Okay, we've got a fall from the hole here to collect all potion. Nicely done.
Yeah, we're heading into the final section. Okay, jump back. Yeah, up, down.
Up, down, up,
fireballs
down, up, down.
Through the fireballs.
And then the final skill activation.
Oh, really well done from both, but it's gonna be a lead for Kim Gonu and a win
oh my God.
for Team Korea.
They both missed on the final skill activation, and so Kim Gonu is actually shocked. Kim Gonu thought that he had lost because he missed on the final skill activation, but you missing on that last skill activation as well, and so Korea takes set number 2.
Oh, Gonu was a little surprised actually that the race was over right there.
Yes.
So that will be 2-0 win.
He missed his final jump, but he still takes the win. And you are so disappointed. He was really close to get a win here, but he didn't manage to get that last skill activation as well. And so you've got the 2 players here who got the score really similar.
Yeah, only 2 million. So those 2 rainbows at the beginning, I think that hurts a lot. That hurt a lot for you. And Gonu kept it together, and the other part of the race is I think it was mostly the same. No collisions, and it was really good, but it's going to be a 2-0 victory. So no ace match for our first one.
No ace match is here, but I think Team Indonesia is going to have some regrets with this one, because they were so close to being able to win it. And let's have a look at some highlights. So yeah, that's actually Gojek here, missing some rainbow bear jelly, while Shio actually also missed some here. But yeah, in the end, Gojek making a few more mistakes, including like one at the very end. I'm not sure if we're going to see it.
Oh, how did that not catch? It almost seemed like it was supposed to catch, but it does happen when your cookie's that small.
And set number 1 won by Shio, and this is actually like you missing on a few
I think that was you at the beginning.
Bears, at the very end.
Oh, that didn't catch either. Wow.
And both players getting the rescue timing just right here. That's not easy. And Kim Gonu picking on set number 2 at the very end. You can see both players are very surprised by that win.
How did he win?
But Team Korea actually picking on a win in match number 1. So Team Korea got their first 5 points.
5 points, and do you get negative points?
I think you do.
I think you just have to collect everything, right?
Yeah. So I think Team Indonesia would be a -1 right now.
Yeah, so -1. But if you win next one, you get +5, so it'll be a 4. But that's a good start for Team Korea.
Yeah, definitely a good start from Team Korea. They might be able to reach the final with that first win, but they still have to face 2 very strong teams with Thailand and Taiwan. So nothing is decided yet.
Yeah.
Không có lỗi. Một mình đang băng lên. Coi. Như chúng tôi đã nói rồi. Tiếp nữa là ngược dòng rồi. Đối thủ của trường trung học cơ sở Nguyễn Minh Khiêm đó là trường trung học cơ sở Nguyễn Công Trứ. Còn đối thủ của đối thủ của Lan Ken là trường trung học phổ thông Phạm Văn Đồng ở bán kết. Rồi, chúc mừng. Chiến thắng năm nay đã thuộc về trường trung học cơ sở Nguyễn Minh Khiêm với tỷ số 3-2. Một chiến thắng với ngược dòng này nhưng là may mắn quá. Chỉ cần may mắn thôi là sẽ vào vòng trong và kết thúc với giải đấu với có 7 điểm. Và người lên vị trí số 1 và Lan Ken thì về vị trí thứ 2. Chúng ta sẽ có 2 đội bóng bị loại. Ở bảng A đó là đội trường trung học cơ sở Nguyên Du và trường trung học cơ sở Lý Tự Trọng. Rồi, chúng ta đã bị loại rồi, trường học cơ sở Nguyên Du rồi. Có lẽ đội bóng đang dần về tuổi yếu hơn. Còn bảng B đó là trường trung học cơ sở Võ Văn Kiệt. Chúng ta tạm chia tay cho trường Nguyễn Du. Hy vọng trong mùa giải hội thao sắp tới đây sẽ ngày càng phát huy tốt hơn. Còn với những giải đấu hoạt động phong trào, hy vọng những gì mà sẽ làm được đó sẽ là một trong những kết quả mong muốn đem đến cho một giải đấu sẽ ngày càng phát triển hơn và giải đấu sẽ ngày càng nâng cao và chuyên nghiệp hơn. Không phải cái luôn. Ai biết, hỏi tôi đó. Mời quý vị các bạn đi dõi phần thứ 2, phần tiếp theo của chương trình. Và đó là bán kết giải bóng đá 15 mở rộng toàn quốc tỉnh Đắk Nông 2021. Và chương trình sẽ quay trở lại sau ít phút nữa. Đừng rời mắt khỏi mình, chúng tôi sẽ quay trở lại ngay. Rồi, chúng ta đã chia tay bạn này. Bạn này đã bị loại rồi. Và kết thúc dù sao thì kết thúc gì nữa đã không còn là thành công. Và bị loại ở vị trí áp chót. Xin chia buồn nha. Lần thứ hai sau giải đấu bị loại hết rồi. Nguyễn Du này không căng thẳng gì được. Bạn này đi in. Xin chia buồn nha, bị loại rồi. Đi loại với trường trung học cơ sở Lý Tự Trọng, thứ nhất. Ta tạm biệt nha. Giờ bên vòng vận động Biên Anh vào vòng bán kết rồi. Nhưng mà hưng bên em đấy. Ở đây đã chứ.
Hay gì mới có vòng bảng luôn
Như chúng tôi đã nói rồi, đối thủ của Lan Kê với tỷ số 3-2. Một chiến thắng với một vượt vòng này nhưng may mắn.
thì người sử dụng sẽ được thưởng 200.000 xu từ hệ thống. Đây là một loại tiền ảo riêng trong sòng bạc và có thể quy đổi ra tiền mặt với hàng chục phương thức như là tiền
Phở Hương Bếp chuẩn vị hạ thành mới với cốt xương tỉ bò thơm ngọt cùng gia vị phở tuyển chọn kỹ.
you may have remembered us from the past, working on one cookie house to the next. We, the Sugar Gnomes, are always innovating for the future. Today, we bring to you the Sugar Gnome Laboratory. When your castle reaches level 5, our technology will allow future generations of your cookie meta and resource collection to keep up with the world of tomorrow. When you think kingdom, think Sugar Gnome, builders of tomorrow.
Did you hear about the 5 little shapes? They were being naughty! Five little shapes jumping on the bed. Square fell off and bumped his head. Triangle called the doctor and the doctor said, no more shapes jumping on the bed. Four little shapes jumping on the bed. Triangle fell off and bumped his head. Star called the doctor and the doctor said, no more shapes jumping on the bed. Three little shapes jumping on the bed. Star fell off and bumped his head. Oval called the doctor and the doctor said, no more shapes jumping on the bed. Two little shapes jumping on the bed. Oval fell off and bumped his head. Circle called the doctor and the doctor said, no more shapes jumping on the bed. One little shape jumping on the bed. Circle fell off and bumped his head. Square called the doctor and the doctor said, put those shapes right to bed. And all the shapes went right to bed. Goodbye. Did you hear about the 5 little shapes? They were being naughty. Five little shapes jumping on the bed. Square fell off and bumped his head. Triangle called the doctor and the doctor said, no more shapes jumping on the bed. Four little shapes jumping on the bed. Triangle fell off and bumped his head. Star called the doctor and the doctor said, no more shapes jumping on the bed. Three little shapes jumping on the bed. Star fell off and bumped. chubby cheeks, dimpled chin, rosy lips, teeth within, curly hair, very fair, eyes of blue, lovely too, teacher's pet. Is that you? Yes, yes, yes! Chubby cheeks, dim